Hey everybody, and welcome back to the last day of our stamp release extravaganza. Today I'm bringing you From Paris with Love, a beautiful little set that's all about France and love and croissant and little bikes and so forth. Now, everybody uses stamps for all kinds of things, but I actually joined up with this thing. It's called a stamp, die, and punch swap. So there are 10 people in the group, and we're supposed to send everybody 2 to 3, and I'm going to do 2 of them being stamps, embellishments or stamps that we then could use on whatever. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and stamp these in black. And the first one I picked is the Eiffel Tower. And so I need to make 9 of these. So I picked out a strip of paper, and I'm going to stamp. And I may have to cut a second strip of paper, but I'm going to do 9, whoa, I'm going to do 9 Eiffel Towers. I need to clean that off so I don't get my other paper. And I need to space them out so that way it's not in the way. And the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to wash them with a color. And you're going to see that in a minute. I'm going to keep on stamping these up, and I may have to cut a separate sheet of paper to get 9 total. Now that I have them all stamped out, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and I'm going to cut these apart as well, but I think I'm going to wash them all. No, I'm going to cut them first. Okay, so now I have all these out here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to color them in, and then they can choose to fussy cut this out, because this actually wouldn't be too hard to fussy cut out. That was kind of the point I'm going for here. So they're not super, I mean, they're a little bit intricate, but they're not horrible. So what I have here is I have Locomotive, and this is the re-inkers from Brutus Monroe, and I am going to blend them. And I know you've seen a lot of me doing this on these particular videos because I actually really love this technique. It's really, really fun and easy. And I'm going to take one of my detail brushes here, which I have a nice clean one. I'm going to mix it in, and Locomotive is not a dark, dark, dark color. So just so you have a comparison of, where is the sheet of paper? Here we go. You didn't hear that. You're still going to be able to see through. Okay, it's not super dark, which is why I like it. So I'm going to go in, and I'm just going to lightly kind of paint in my Eiffel Tower. And if they still wanted to go in and kind of color this, they could. There's nothing wrong with that. I just, in my mind, Eiffel Tower should be kind of a darker color, and it just adds something to the stamp now that I've kind of gone through and done something to it. If you wanted to make your Eiffel Tower big, bright, you know, and bold, have at it, but you know, I don't think Eiffel Tower, and I don't think red, you know, I think kind of a dark tone. And because I'm watercoloring it, it does not have to be perfect. If it goes over the lines a little bit, no big deal. I think it would be just fine. Now I know these look kind of plain and drab, but if you think about it, if you cut this out and you put this on a brightly colored paper, this would look fantastic. I mean, there's so many things you can do that it's the fact that it's the Eiffel Tower is really cute. So that's the first one. It's our cute little Eiffel Towers, and I've made 9 so that way they can get passed out to everybody. All right, for this next one, we're going to do the bike, and I really do think that the bike and the Eiffel Tower are pretty universal. I mean, there's so many beautiful things on this particular stamp set that you could use, and if you're going to do a single card or a single tag, being able to add in the France and the bonjour and the little swirly things is fine. But since I'm sending these out to people, if I just did Paris as a stamp by itself, it would feel kind of flat. Whereas the bike or the Eiffel Tower you automatically know what that is. But if you just saw this stamp all by itself, you wouldn't realize that that's the Arc de Triomphe, or you wouldn't realize this is the Notre Dame or something like that. So, but these two things I feel are the most universal out of the stamp set that can be used on a ton of different projects, from cards to ATCs to mixed media to little mini books to you name it. So we're going to change gears. Instead of doing this in black, we're going to do this in a pretty phone book color. Just kind of brighten it up, look a little cheery. And do the same thing like I did before. I'm going to kind of put this over here, and I'm going to stamp my little bike. I'm going to kind of re-ink and stamp. Re-ink and stamp. Simple as that. And we'll go ahead and speed this along. So I just got kind of finished playing with the idea of kind of coloring these in a little bit, and I like the idea of adding a little bit of the locomotive to the wheels. I tried to add some of the Zest re-inker, and it just, because I did a light stamp to begin with and a light color, it's just not working. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit and go in the wheels of really light color just to add a little bit of contrast. A little bit on the seat there, and then just leave it like that, because that's kind of hard to get in there. I don't want to overdo, that's getting a little dark. There we go. Just a little something. And if you wanted to fussy cut this out, you could. It'd be a little meticulous, but you could do it. But you're not losing the idea of the spokes in the bike wheels, and that's really what I wanted to keep. Adding a little fun something on the handlebar. And you could easily cut this out and make this much smaller. So I'm going to give it to them on kind of a bigger sheet of paper. I'm going to cut this up, and they can trim this up how they want. I don't want to make it too close because they may not like that. Trying to give options to whoever's getting this. And there it is. Now, just to also show you that when you do this particular method, realize that I was stamping with the same ink, and then I went back and added the ink as a watercolor on top, and it doesn't blend. Notice that it's not blending up, so it works great. For this one, because they are such small pieces, I'm just going to go ahead and cut them up. And here's my little cute embellishment sets that I'm going to mail off to all the people that are in this swap. So thanks so much for stopping by and to seeing all the fun stamps that we're releasing with Brutus Monroe. If you haven't checked out the other ones, make sure you go back and see all the previous days. They're pretty short little videos, and they're all showing fun ways to use these stamps, and not just for cards, for ATCs, for borders, for embellishment swaps, and more. So, and all different techniques using the stamps too. So, and various methods of of mists and true inks and detailed inks and watercoloring with the re-inkers and all kinds of fun techniques. So thanks so much. Please subscribe, and I'll talk to you again later. Bye-bye.